Hamlet, North Carolina will stop to remember what happened so many years ago. It's been 30 years since the Imperial Food Products processing plant went up in flames, killing 25 workers trapped behind locked doors. The factory had never once been inspected. Wake Up Charlotte's Richard Devane joins us live in Hamlet. Richard, people are still feeling the impact of those losses today.
Absolutely correct, Sarah. Good morning to you. Good Friday morning. I'm standing on what was once that plant. Over my shoulder, you can see a memorial that the city has set up to say they'll never forget the folks whose lives were changed forever. Some lives lost, some people injured with lasting memories, including one woman we spoke to who says she can't help but think about her two best friends who didn't make it out. Annette Zimmerman still deals with the emotions from that day 30 years ago when she and her two friends went to work at the Imperial Foods processing plant.
Margaret Banks and Brenda Kelly, we generally stuck together. We were known as the Three Musketeers of the plant.
The plant processed chickens for restaurants and in those days was one of Hamlet's biggest employers. The wages were low, but it was work. On that day, the friends got separated and were assigned different tasks.
I stopped on another line to speak to somebody.
Then a fire ignited, flames fueled by grease, quickly coating the plant in a wall of thick black smokes. Lights flickering. Panic ensued. Zimmerman and the other women in the plant desperate to escape.
All you could hear was the screaming, and we get to the area where we knew we could go out, only to find out it was locked from the outside.
Emmett Rowe, the owner, had them locked. He said to prevent employees from stealing chickens. Thankfully, someone managed to crawl out a hole and get help. But for some, it was too late. Of the 81 employees working at the time, 25 died. An additional 40 were injured. Zimmerman, one of the injured. Her two friends?
I suffered for years from depression because Margaret and Brenda both died and could never understand why I didn't.
She says that she will continue to remember her friend. She actually got to meet one of her friend's sons just a short while ago. She said she'll be here today as the community will come together to again remember those lives lost and, of course, all the many lives that were affected forever. We're in Hamlet. Richard Devane for Wake Up Charlotte.
Wow, Richard, thank you. What a tragedy. Larry, you were here when that happened.
Yeah, and just looking back and thinking back to 30 years ago, how tragic that was and how it just impacted the entire area, and then all of the reporters from the station that were down there just saying just how it just devastated that community of Hamlet, which had been known, it had notoriety, not because of that, but had been it's the home of the National Railroad Museum. So it's a famous place for the Seaboard Railroad lines that came through there, and then this put it on the map with this tragedy. And just to think that, you know, how many people were impacted. Not only then, but even forever it has been. I remember Jesse Jackson, Reverend Jesse Jackson was down there for some of the services afterwards that they had.
25 people died.
Yeah.
Richard's going to have much more on this coming up at 6:15 as well.